we're going in the huddle. Like, I'm thinking, what are we going to try to get? Like 10 yards, get out of bounds, kick a field goal. And then Tom just comes running in and bunch left, 80 go. And I'm like, I'm the Z to the left. And I'm like, we're about to throw a go ball right now.
That wasn't even like a check or nothing. You guys called that
No, we
play.
called the go ball.
Oh, wow.
And I'm just like lined up condensed. I see the corner like only like 8 yards off, kind of like looking inside. And I'm like,
See you later.
He's
Like,
about
I
to
got
get
speed,
this?
baby. I'm gone.
you're right. I take off and I just see him standing there. And I'm like, I'm like, Tom, please put it up.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Christian Kuntz Podcast. I'm here with my boys, Vinny, Trey. We got Jesse behind the boards, Tanner in here. We got Swing with the camera. We're joined by a special guest, Mr. Scotty Miller. Give it up for Scotty. Scotty, how we feeling today?
Good, man.
Big
Coming off the big win. Feeling good.
Big dub,
Feeling
big
good.
dub.
Yes,
That
sir.
was a crazy sequence of events for you yesterday. I know we were just talking about it, but walk us through, like, have you ever been inactive in your career? Like, I know you've been inactive a little bit this year, and
Yeah.
it probably sucks and it's tough to go
Right.
from, being an active player and you were on a Super Bowl team. We'll talk about that too. But talk about, like, being inactive and then, how things change so quick and, like, your preparation going into a game of being inactive, but then yesterday,
Yeah.
bang, you got put in.
Yeah, man, it's tough. I was in Tampa. There was a couple of times where I was inactive. We had a loaded receiver room my fourth year there with Julio Jones, Russell Gage, Mike, Chris, like a bunch of dudes. So
Yeah, you were loaded.
yeah, so there's a couple games where I was, was down, but yeah, I don't know if a lot of people know, but there's a 53-man roster, and then only 48 can dress, I believe. So 5 guys are inactive every week, which is tough. So yesterday was crazy. I'm going into the week thinking I was inactive the last 2 weeks. So I'm thinking I'm probably not going to be playing. You always have to prepare to play, but it's always a little bit different, right? Because you just probably know you're not going to be. So
Kind of sucks
so
in a
it
way.
sucks
yeah.
for sure. It sucks for sure. So it makes it tough. Then GP had a little deal with his hamstring late in the week, but I don't think GP's ever missed a game in the NFL. So I'm thinking he's good. None of us really knew the severity of it. I'm thinking, they gave him Friday off, just heal up. He's good to go. Coaches are telling me, just be ready to roll, but that's something they would normally say. So last night the night before the game, I went home, slept at home. I'm up early with my son, 7 a.m., hanging out with him. Wouldn't ever normally do that. I'm eating breakfast with him, eating what he's eating, showing up to the game, not as early as I normally would, so my routine totally off. And then they announced the inactives an hour and a half before the game.
11:30.
So it's like 2 minutes before that, I'm just sitting in my street clothes just like this in my locker like I normally would when I'm inactive. And coach comes up to me, he's like, "You ready to go? You're playing." And I'm like, "All right."
Yeah, that's crazy.
And then, so they also, the guys who are inactive, they also don't have their pads out. So my pad's like worn out when I walked in the
your
locker
stuff's not
room.
even
So
there.
my cleats aren't even out, and I got nothing out. So they're like, "You're playing." I'm like, "Y'all got some cleats?" Like, you got my stuff somewhere? So then, they go and pull my bag out of the back room and bring me all my stuff, and I just get ready to go and play. And, so definitely crazy experience, different. But at that point, you gotta be ready to go. You got no other choice. So it's wild.
Talk to us about, like, the preparation during the week of, like, were those balls like GP's targets? Like, do you run those routes during the week?
Yeah, I mean, so
Because I see you guys all rotate in. Obviously,
Right.
receivers run like crazy, but like, do you run those routes? Or do you get those balls from Russ? Because I know some of them are timing. Like, you ran an out yesterday for
Right.
8 yards on.
Yeah.
See, I know all this shit because, like,
you locked in.
I'm praying we convert because I'm like, I remember Scotty caught that ball on second, and it was second and 12, went to 3rd and 4. It was a big 8-yard gain. I was like, all right, we need that.
I get to sit here for a little longer.
Yeah, I'm locked in. But then we had the punt, so I was all pissed off. But do you get those balls, like, during the week in practice? From Russ or more from Justin? Or
Yeah, I mean, definitely, like, being a backup, I pride myself on being able to know every single spot. There's typically 3 receiver spots, the X, the F, and the Z. And for a guy like me, I think, like, to be able to be active every week, to be able to have the coaches trusting you and get more opportunities, you got to know everything. So I take my preparation every week very seriously if I'm inactive or not. Obviously, it's tougher when you think you're going to be down. But then as far as on the field, I think they do a good job rotating us in.
Yeah, you guys
so I
do.
get throws with Russ and Justin and everybody. Obviously, not as much as you would like. You always want more.
Yeah.
But I mean, it goes back to, like, I mean, I went out to UCLA with Russ in the offseason and threw with him for like 2 days out there, and then all the work we put in Latrobe. So I mean, you're ready to roll, and you have all those banked reps. So
I gotta ask you, since we're talking about Russ and the deep ball Russ throws, and obviously you play with Brady on the Super Bowl team. Like, talk about the similarities in like the touch and like the deep ball. Like, dude, Russ's deep ball is crazy.
yeah,
and like obviously Tom's the GOAT, like the best of all time. So like, what's the similarities in those two? Just like being a pro and like every day, like what do you see that's similar in those two?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it, just their approach to the everyday work is similar. I think they've both had so much success that you could see maybe they would, take a day off or take it easy. But I mean, the reason why they are so great is they'll never do that.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you see when we're walking off the plane, every time when we land somewhere, you'll see Russ like last one on the plane, even though he's first class and we're in the back. But he's got that play sheet out. Everything's highlighted. He's got stuff drawn all over it. So I mean, that just shows you how locked in he is, and he's ready for every single play that could be called, and he's locked in and ready to roll. And then as far as the deep ball goes, I mean, when Tom was coming to Tampa, I think some people were talking about maybe he's getting old, falling off. But then as soon as he shows up, we're like, this dude ain't
old.
Nah,
yeah,
he was play for another 5 years. It was crazy. So I think they both have awesome deep balls. Russ is just, they call it the moon ball. He just kind of hangs it up out there, and then somehow it just lands in the breadbasket every time. So the one I caught yesterday, he just put up. I'm doing a release, and I just look up, and the ball's just sitting there. Oh, that's nice.
Dude,
made it pretty easy on me.
I thought that ball was like either it was going to be just out of your, like the way it was placed, like on the sideline. I was right there because I'd showed you. Crazy celebrating.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Like I was standing there and I'm like, dude, that ball's coming right out of bounds. And then like you turned, like put your hands out and the ball just like sat right. Like it was just crazy. It's just crazy to see like in person, like on TV, obviously, like everyone sees replays and you see that shit. But when you're watching like in person on the sidelines, like it's like wild. Wow.
You look like a creative character. I ain't gonna lie. Every time I see you on the sidelines, I'm like, "Where's the swag at?" There ain't nothing there. Like, Scotty, do me a favor. Get him some wrist tape. You know what I mean? The sleeve, something. Huh?
I can't. I got a finger tape now. I'm wearing a little finger
finger
tape.
Like, what are we doing?
I do. I just can't. The only way that I feel like I got a little swag is if I wear sleeves, and like I don't like wearing so like I went sleeve. It was warm yesterday, which is crazy. Like,
dude, I need you out there in like a blacked out visor with like a Sean Taylor like finger tape on the face mask.
That'd be crazy. That'd be
crazy.
That might get you some Pro Bowl votes.
No, people will be like, dude, you're a long snapper. You're wearing eye black.
Right, that's the
Take
point
it off, bro.
They already make fun of you. Do you think they care?
I know. They don't. They won't care.
I think that's why we do it.
That is why. Yeah, dude. What the atmosphere yesterday?
Crazy.
It was a good atmosphere.
Oh, it was amazing.
What are your thoughts on like the Steelers, the Pittsburgh, the Yinzer fans?
When that Renegade comes on, I mean, there ain't nothing like it. Ain't nothing like it. You standing up on the bleachers, getting the crowd going. I love it. But it's amazing. I mean, even go back to like Latrobe. I've never been a part of a training camp where, what is there, 10,000 fans there every single day?
Dude, on a Monday.
It's crazy.
Like, dude, these people don't work.
Yeah, I'm like, y'all got jobs up here in PA? What's going on?
Their job is to come watch us practice during Latrobe.
I wouldn't be surprised if people save their days, like requested days.
Oh, for sure.
For that.
It must be.
Like,
You're part of a religion.
Yeah.
You're part of a religion, a real religion.
100%.
Dude, people do take like the hotels in Latrobe sell out every training camp. Like that time of the year for them, I think keeps Latrobe afloat.
Mm-hmm. I'd agree.
Like
I think I was looking for some hotels for my wife, and there's nothing. It's in like Airbnb 30 minutes away.
That's crazy.
In Latrobe sold out. It's crazy, but we love our Steeler fans.
Yeah,
I do have a question for you though, Scotty. So I was doing my research as I always do, right? And I started asking questions. I'm not the best question asker though. That's Jesse behind the ones and twos. You'll get to him in a second. But what I wanted to ask you was, man, like you've been to a lot of different cities. You was in Atlanta, right? You were also in Tampa. A lot of warm states. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now you in the real deal Holyfield cold.
Yeah.
What's the difference for you, man? Like in terms of playing the position, because I don't think a lot of people understand catching a football in the cold is painful at times.
Oh yeah,
especially when you got a good quarterback. So like, talk about it a little bit.
Yeah, no, it's tough. I'm from Chicago originally.
Okay, so you ain't
and I went to Bowling Green in Ohio, so I kind of know the deal. But I spent 4 years in Tampa, and you change up real quick. So I turned into a Florida boy real quick. So it's a lot different coming up here and catching passes. I like to stay by that heater. I always see Christian tucked away by that heater. I'd be standing next to him.
I thought you
keep
on
the hands
TV
warm.
doing it.
I was sitting on the bench like this on my hands all day.
Smart. It's a smart move.
But yeah, I mean, especially these NFL quarterbacks, they're not throwing softballs to you. So in the cold, that football is rock hard. So you gotta keep your hands warm and lock in.
Thanks. I get it.
What about getting like? I feel like people always ask me this, and I can't really. I don't get hit like you get hit. Is it different getting hit when you're not cold when you're out there like playing?
Yeah.
Because like I'm not cold, but I'm coming. No joke. It's third down. I'm still by the heater,
Right.
and then it's like, oh, we got incomplete pass. We're punting. Warm up the hands. Run out.
Come back out.
Snap and come
back
sit
to the
on
heater.
Yeah, right back to the heater. So like. Yeah, I'll get hit in there, but it's like I'm coming off. I'm like sweating from standing by the heater, not from like moving. But what's it like getting hit in there? Like if you are, it is a freezing game. Like you're getting whacked out there by one of these safeties. Like
yeah, I mean it can be rough, but I pride myself on not letting these dudes hit me and trying to get away because I know I'm about $175 at best. So I know I can't hold up getting smacked by Grant Delpit or whoever else. So that's kind of my mindset about it. But when your adrenaline's pumping, I mean,
you don't feel it.
Yeah, you'll be good to go.
Because Calvin took a big hit.
Yeah.
Man.
Two big
How about
hits.
Calvin? Like his toughness, and I mean to be playing in that game yesterday after what happened against Cincy was crazy.
The punt that he caught, the backed up punt that he caught, and then like he caught this on the run moving forward, and like guys are coming full speed, 40-yard sprint at him, and he just went right back at him.
Yeah.
Like dude, it was that's nuts.
Can you talk about that at all? I mean, like, I don't know if I missed something on TV, but it looked like people were like waving. Or like, did they think he went down or like what happened?
I saw that too.
I saw it too.
I think Skoranek I saw waving. I think he was concerned about a guy on the other team was down for a second, but then he got up.
It was weird because then everybody got up and I was like, what happened?
Yeah, I was worried something happened to Cal.
It was one of those moments where you're like, oh no, dude, I'm looking like what am I about to see? Like something crazy, someone laying there, and they just everyone got up.
I know.
So, thank God. But
I think someone on their team was like on their back, and someone must have saw something, and everyone was like, "Dude, when you see that shit, it's scary."
It puts a pit in your stomach.
Like I always like panic. I see even if it's the other team, like you never want to see a guy like anything.
Yeah.
Like
it's terrible.
Yeah,
it's terrible.
And you panic, and immediately everyone's like, "Dude, come, we need help out here."
And it's crazy how that can happen to any one of us at any moment.
Any moment, yo.
That's why you got to be so fortunate. Like every game you're out there playing and healthy, like is a blessing.
It happens in the smallest of ways too. Like you see guys get injured doing the most simplest things, like taking a step or like just getting hit the wrong way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like it's one of those sports that every time you pray before the game, it's real like prayer.
Yeah,
like,
it's real.
People don't understand that. Like, bro, no, I'm praying to survive today.
I'm not just out here doing this for fun.
Like, I'm not out here just getting on one knee.
For the IG picture.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. Did you guys see Bryce Young? He like immediately went to prayer when he saw a guy like get he went down and it was like a bad injury or something, and he immediately was like praying on the field.
Scary, bro.
So,
you know, like, you just know.
It's real.
Know. Like
real.
I know the dude for Cleveland that hurt his neck, the linebacker from Notre Dame.
Yeah, we were just
that's
talking about that.
Number 6.
Yeah,
he's not playing anymore.
yeah.
They said he's like done forever.
Spinal.
Right.
Yeah.
Like that shit's devastating.
Yeah, that's a hard breakup too, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like to have your career end because of an injury you can't control.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's difficult. Like there's very few things out there that I can say that's extremely difficult. But like when you separate from your sport, I was talking to him about it. That's a hard breakup period, whether you're in high school, college, or the league, right? But to have that taken from you because of some freak accident, that's somebody be there for him. That's all I'm saying, man.
Yeah, that's just trauma, dude.
Yeah, bro.
That's why, why do you think I paint football players? You think I miss playing football.
That's why am I a painter now? I'm not a football player.
I get it.
But yeah, dude, let's talk about like not just yesterday's game or whatever, but like this whole season's been crazy. So from your perspective, you've like you said, you've dropped down, come back up. Like, what's this ride been like for you?
Yeah, no, it's been cool. It's been fun. I mean, just to be a Steeler has been fun. To play for Mike T has been awesome. I mean, you hear all the stories about him, and I think some people are kind of getting an insight into it with the Hard Knocks. But it's been awesome. The team's had a ton of success, which has been fun. Been rolling. So I've had a blast. The guys have been great in my receiver room. It's been fun. Obviously, we got GP, he's gonna keep it fresh, keep it fun every single day. You never know what story you're gonna have from him. But we got CA, we got Van, we got Mike Dub now. So it's just been a lot of fun, and I've just been just grateful to be a part of it.
Skowronek.
We got new addition to the group.
I like him, yo.
He's another guy. He's gonna keep it. Yeah, you see Tony throwing the ball at the back of his head. Who knows what he said to him?
He was definitely saying some shit to him.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Skowronek,
He probably
he's
deserved
just,
it, but we'll take the 15 yards.
He's gritty. You could just see it. Like, I love his Instagram. He posts after the game. It's like him running in the end zone with a football, him making a tackle, him catching a first down. Like he's just a football player, bro.
He's a football
he's
player.
all around just like
He's a goof too.
I want to know what he said though. He had to say something out of pocket.
I think he probably did.
He definitely did. Something that my mom's watching this and we can't say.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. That's fair. Respect.
Scotty, take us back. Let's go. Let's backtrack. Let's go back to high school days when you were in high school. You grew up in Chicago.
Northwest suburbs, like 40 minutes out of the city. Yeah.
You'll claim you as Chicago.
Sometimes I tell people South Side, Chirac. You know,
Scotty, we know you ain't from the South Side.
Where Chief Keef's from?
Chief Keef, Chicago. Two sport. You played track. You ran track. You played track. You ran track. Played football. How important was that? Like, being a track star. Obviously, you can fucking fly. Like the first day, I remember when he signed here, he was. I'm like, we were like, dog, he's flying, like floating out there. So talk about the importance of like your track background and playing receiver and like how much it's helped you.
Yeah, it's huge. I mean, if you take a look at me, like I gotta be able to run because I ain't gonna run through people. So.
No, you're gonna run around them.
Yeah, you gotta be good at something. So it's been huge for me. I ran track in high school. I wish I would have run. My whole goal, like in high school, was to win the 100-meter, be the fastest man in the state. And my senior year in the prelims, I pulled my hamstring.
No.
I still so in the prelim, I'm running it. I'm halfway through. I'm like winning it. I pull my hamstring. I still finish and qualify for the final. And I also qualified for like a couple other events. But I'm like, I want to run this 100. So I tried to run the 100 the following day. And
on a pulled hammy.
On a pulled hammy. So I got my high school head track coach like in the hotel room. Night before the next day for the final, he's in there, digging into my hamstring. He's not a trainer. He doesn't know what he's doing. I don't know, but we're like, we can figure something out. we got to get this done. And then we show up the next day, and I'm like, probably popped a couple Advil, and I'm like, let's do it. And I ran. I beat one kid. I got 8th place out of 9 guys. So,
on a pulled hammy.
On a pulled hammy, yeah. I ran like a 10-9 or something.
Whoa! You still ran a 10-9?
Yeah, I still broke 11. Yeah.
On a pulled hammy?
Yeah.
What were you running on a good day, just out of curiosity?
My best time was 10:53, and I would have ran. I think I would have ran like a lot better. I would have like 10:3 or something if I was good because I was ramping up for this big state meet. And then
your adrenaline probably would have took you a 1/10 of a second lower.
Right? Yeah.
That's cooking.
Yeah, it was crazy, but it was unfortunate. But yeah, it's been huge. I mean, speed is my whole game. Everything I do is, just trying to get to the DB to fear that I'm going deep, if not to beat them deep, but also to help me with all my underneath routes. So track has been key for me.
In high school, I read that you were playing safety too.
Yeah,
what was your
big hitter.
What was your defensive days like?
Yeah, shoot, probably similar to yours. I don't know if I was quite as talented as you were after all the stat lines you were giving me about your helmet.
Yeah,
I just don't get it.
What?
Like, bro, how do you go from
we
all
talk
that
about this?
And then now you ain't got no swag?
No, but I just want to talk about like what prompted you wanting to bring the helmet in on set. You were just like.
Because every guest that I've had, I just have to make a statement. Like, look,
I used
to play ball here.
Yeah. Show them the battle scars, dude.
No,
there's a lot of them. I ain't gonna lie, there is a lot of them.
Yeah, we were hitting.
Look at that chip.
The chip and the
stripe.
decal. Yeah.
That looks like a Guardian cap.
Yeah, bro. We need to get you tested now.
I'm not gonna lie.
Speaking of the heaters, and I'm changing the subject, but I'll be by the heater and I'm putting my helmet in there because it sucks putting a cold helmet on your head.
It does.
On it. So I'm putting my helmet by the heater, right? And I'm like smelling something.
Oh,
I'm like,
my God.
Shit. I look down. I burnt the hair off my arm right here. Then I put the helmet on, and it burned the top of my hair. My hair was on fire, bro. It was like frizzy on the top.
You don't look like the dude from Home Alone, you right?
Could you imagine going to IR for like a heater, like because you were too close to the
Could you
heater?
imagine trying to tell like the 1974 team like your struggles?
Dude, they probably think we're so soft. They were smoking cigarettes on steel benches.
Yeah.
Bro,
They
we're
were
sitting there
different.
with heat packs, fucking on our legs, on our like
The
everyone.
shiesty on.
Yeah, everyone's Theragunning. Like
That's why I love how much you guys like the other teams. Like, you guys are so nice to each other. Like, we love you guys. Never want to see a guy hurt. You talk to those guys,
Yeah, nah.
bro. They were just different people.
they're like, we want to
they ain't
see.
going for that.
Yeah, we want to see those. They were like, we want to see those guys get hurt.
Yeah.
You know,
Breaking
which is just
fingers.
crazy.
it's crazy to say out loud,
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah,
Like you would not be able to show like if there was a podcast in like the 70s, you wouldn't be able to have like wore that brace
Oh, no.
on a show because
Oh,
they're
They're
just
gonna go
gonna
after it,
grab
right?
it.
Yeah.
they would try to kick my finger.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Step on your finger.
Yeah, I'm like, what's going on? Let's get into like Bowling Green. I saw you had some offers from some big time FCS schools.
Yeah.
but you picked Bowling Green.
Yeah, not quite Duquesne, but
No, fuck North Dakota. You had North Dakota State and South
Yeah.
Dakota State.
Yeah, I had offers from North Dakota State, South Dakota State, Western Illinois were my 3 FCS offers. So, and I had those are the only other offers I had going like throughout my whole senior football
Big
season.
offers, bro. Those are
Yeah, I mean, I always wanted to play in the FBS, but I was definitely grateful to have those. My dad went to Western Illinois, so I was actually about to commit to Western Illinois like a day before Bowling Green had came in and offered me. It was the second to last game I ever played. Well, I had a good playoff game my senior year, and Bowling Green offered me that night.
Wow.
But it was crazy because Bowling Green, they called me right after the game. I had like a kick return touchdown and a receiving touchdown or something, and Coach Sean Lewis called me. And he was like, "Hey man, we're gonna offer you, but the caveat is you have 24 hours to accept the scholarship, or else we're taking it away." And I'm like,
Wow.
so it was crazy. But at this point, I had the only other offers I had were FCS offers, and my dream was to play FBS. Bowling Green was like 4 hours away from home. I wanted to stay close to home, so I called him the next morning, and I was like, "I'm coming. Let's do it."
What is Bowling Green like? Like I've never. Is it like in the middle of nowhere in Ohio?
Yeah, middle of nowhere. You drive I-75, and you'll see the stadium just sitting right next to the highway, and that's like it's a fun school though. We got like 20,000 students,
Yeah,
nice downtown, so we have a good time.
Yeah. Little college town.
But besides
I've
like
been
the college town and the college itself, I
Yeah.
mean, we got nothing around us.
Wow.
Toledo's like 20 minutes away, but
That's what I was gonna ask.
I don't know if anyone's going to Toledo for a good time. So
Probably not.
No,
Yeah.
definitely not.
yeah,
That Mac
I've never hung out in Toledo.
action.
I've hung out in Bowling Green and Toledo.
Did you?
And I'm picking Bowling Green every time.
Yeah,
Letting
every
you know
time.
personally.
Every time.
personally.
What were
Bowling
you
Green's a
doing
good
up
time.
there?
Why are you asking all them questions,
I just
bro?
wanna know- Back to the Steelers talk.
Hey, can we talk about the Steelers?
I just want to know what you were doing up there.
I was
Bowling.
honestly, I was on a visit. I had a lot of action as
Who were you
my.
visiting?
I had Bowling Green.
Oh.
I was doing like a whole MAC area, right?
Yeah.
I was going to. I did Toledo, then came to Bowling Green,
Yeah.
and then went home, and then I went to. Where did I go after that? Michigan State. So I
Okay.
passed all those to go to Michigan
Yeah.
State as well.
Yeah.
But I wanted to ask you, man, because I seen a whole lot of information on you, of course. But one of the things I noticed more than anything was 2 things. Your relationship with your father is like amazing, right? And I
Yeah.
can tell that plays a role in your current relationship with your son. So like, talk about that a little bit, like his role in sports, because you're also going to go to Western Illinois because of him. You said,
Yeah.
So talk about that relationship, please.
Yeah, no, my dad's been huge, very influential in my life. I'd say he's probably my best friend. Just super tight with him. He was my coach all throughout youth football, so like he kind of showed me the game and showed me how to love the game, how to play the game, and just taught me so much about the game. So I talk to him every single day. He's always calling me, asking about practice, talking about the games and stuff like that. So great relationship with him, and he's always kept our family super tight knit. I have 3 sisters, super close with them. So I always wanted the same thing with my family. So I have a 1-year-old son. So just trying to emulate that same relationship I had with my dad with him, and hopefully have a bigger family too with more kids. But yeah, my dad's been huge for me.
What's
That's
the
huge.
biggest thing you learned in the first year of being a dad?
It's been awesome. For one, it's been the biggest blessing, for sure. And just I think the best part about it is just coming home every day. We have a window, and a big window that looks right at the street, and my wife's sitting there with like my son and our dog, and he's just looking, waiting for me. And that's just like the best thing ever.
It is. I have a 1-year-old too.
Do you? Yeah.
So there's
So you
nothing
know.
like that.
Yeah.
feeling.
There's nothing like it, for real. And it just makes you want to come home and hang out with them and not worry about all the problems you got at work or whatever, because that's what really matters.
That's cool, man.
That is cool. I heard my. I don't know if you heard this. I guess my mom was holding your son.
Yeah,
yesterday.
That's hilarious. So yeah, my wife was telling me about that.
My brother just called my brother just called me before you got here, and he was like, "What are you doing?" I said, "Oh, I'm at the studio." I said, "About to have Scotty Miller on." He goes, "Dude, Mom was holding his baby yesterday." I looked over and she's holding a random baby. We had no clue who it was, and she's like, "It's Scotty Miller's baby." My mom's holding your baby. I'm like, "Mom, what are you doing?"
My wife was telling me about that. She appreciated it though because holding a 1-year-old for a whole 3-hour game can't be easy. That's probably harder than playing in the game.
It probably is hard.
I'm trying to tell you she wants to be a grandma, bro.
Yeah, come on,
little Kunzi running around, huh?
That's what she's telling me.
Maybe.
Yeah.
You ready?
I'm ready.
I'm
ready.
Jesse, we're the only two without kids now.
Yeah.
Lucky.
Good.
Jess, what you got for Scotty? I know you got something cooked up back there.
Yeah, so I want to circle back to the mentality of staying ready. I just want you to explain to the fans and people that might not understand, because I think a lot of people think whether it's a guy that's always in or that's kind of gets subbed in. How important and how complicated is it to know? Because you had no idea going into the game that you are going to get called up. So people don't realize that you have to stay sharp on all the routes. You got to now immediately be like, all right, what was I doing in practice? What was what is GP or what is Russ like to do? So I just think it's an overlooked asset for you to just cold walk into a game and be like, oh, grab pads and cleats. I'm playing today. So just talk about how more complex that is than people would understand.
I mean, it's definitely not like you're just out. It's not like backyard football where you're just running around having fun, running go routes, slant routes, and the quarterback's telling you what to do.
Yeah.
So I mean,
you got to know your shit.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at NFL play sheet, there's a lot on it. From third downs, red zone to open grass, it's a lot of different stuff in there that you got to know. So I think the biggest thing for me is just every week, as hard as it is, thinking that you're probably not playing, is just staying ready to go, staying locked in.
Yeah. So do you have a playbook that, because I guess my question is does all the wide receivers have the same playbook, or is it run for specific people? Your skill set compared to GP's or Mike Williams is vastly different because you're a speed guy.
Right.
Maybe you relate with Calvin. So do you just jump into his route? How does that even work? Because I know you guys are running different routes.
I think it's tough because you're only going to have 5 guys active, 5 receivers, and it's hard to get guys with the same skill sets.
Right.
You can need some guys with special teams. We got Skronik up. Obviously is a different skill set than a lot of us as well. So we don't necessarily have a different playbook, but we all have the same playbook. But the coach, the receiver coach in the meetings is talking to George on specific plays. Here, George, we want you to do this on this play. But a guy like me who's sitting there that might have to play for George, I just got to listen and know, okay, what is he telling George? But I have to listen to, what is he telling Calvin? What is he telling Van?
You got to know the whole route tree.
The whole thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Interesting.
And that's kind of how it goes, and it's a crazy business, but you better be ready to step up, because if you don't, somebody else is going to step up. You know what I mean? So those are the opportunities you have to take advantage of.
Yeah, and I wanted to ask this one more thing, just a little bit more fun. So beyond with the GOATs that you play with currently, you obviously play with a list full of studs. You played for 2 GOATs before, Brady. And the GOAT of inspirational speeches, Jameis Winston. What was that like? First of all, go into the Brady stuff. I'd love to hear just some maybe some stories. Maybe Brady shaped your mindset. I just hear how analytical and how he just changes a locker room commands. As soon as he gets to that team, I hear the whole building changes. So what's that? And then also what's it like to play with Jameis? We want to know. We love to.
Were you in the Eat a Dub circle?
I was not. That was the year before.
That's legendary.
But a lot of my boys, Chris Godwin was in it, and a bunch of those guys. So
what's that
like? About
it.
You can see Chris in the background.
Dude,
what the hell?
In the background was I came from Philly for this shit.
DJ, exactly. But playing with Tom was awesome. I mean, I saw it day one. I mean, when he came in, I remember me, Chris Godwin, Cam Brate, he hit us up and he's like, hey, let's go throw at a local high school in Tampa. This is during around the OTA time before that, when the team didn't have anything going on, and just how locked in he was on a random day in April, just ready to roll. And he always talked about how we're just going to out-prepare everybody, and just be smarter than everybody, because everybody got talent. The whole league's got talent, but what's going to separate you is the work you put in, the preparation you put in. So, I mean, playing with him was just you learn so much from him. Obviously, like it's not like he's got like the ability of like a Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen. So it's like how did he do it? You know what I mean? It's crazy. He's not running around for 100 yards a game or anything like that. So it was awesome. One thing I remember about him is like the Super Bowl. When we got to the Super Bowl his first year, which is also crazy. We went from being like a very average team. He shows up all
immediately.
We're in the Super Bowl and we win easily. But just like before the game, like he was never one to really give speeches before the game, but like before the Super Bowl, he's like, "Hey, come on, fellas, come on up."
Shit.
Man, here we go. And then he just like gives a pretty epic speech and just like really fired everybody up, giving meaning to what we're about to do. Having us think back to like our childhood, sitting in the car with our dad, taking us to the game, like
it's crazy.
He's like, all that for right now, like let's go, and like just stuff like that was just something like moments you'll never forget.
Ooh, don't do that.
That gave me chills.
Yeah, you ready to go right now? Throw on the Duquesne helmet.
I wish I put this bitch on again. I wish I was a fly on the wall for that. What was the Super Bowl run like? Like when you guys were, winning games in the regular season, like say you're in week 15, like we are now, or 14, whatever the hell this week is. But like, what was the feeling like? Are you guys did you clinch a spot and you guys knew you were in the playoffs, or like how did the vibe feel?
Our journey was so we were a wild card team.
Oh, yeah, you were on the road, 3 road games.
Yeah, we kind of struggled the first half of the year. I mean, Tom had just got there, obviously, so it took some time. We had signed AB late in the year, so we had a lot of different moving pieces.
Oh, I forgot that was that year.
Yeah,
that was that year.
Played with some characters.
I played with them all, man. But then, so the Saints beat us twice that year, and they won the division, the NFC South. We came in as a wild card team. Our first game was on the road. We went to Washington. It's the COVID year. There's 0 fans at the stadium. Taylor Heineke, no one's ever heard of him. His coming out party almost knocks us out of the playoffs.
Yeah,
probably our hardest game.
I do remember that.
Yeah, it was crazy. Well. They almost knocked us out, and then so we beat them, and then we went on the road to New Orleans, who's beat us like the last 6 games. They beat us like 3 years in a row, and then we finally got over the edge and beat them at their place, and that's like a huge rivalry in the NFC South. That's like it always goes down. You see those clips of Mike Evans and Lattimore going at it.
Yeah.
So that was like probably maybe even the funnest one because like it just kind of meant the
division
most.
game on the road.
Was Breeze still there, or was that after he retired?
Breeze was there. I think that might have been his last game.
year.
Wow,
it was his last year.
Last game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think.
Wow.
Yeah. So that one was pretty special. And then we went to Green Bay NFC Championship and beat them at their place. So that was a fun one for me too.
He balled that game.
Had a good play in that one, memorable play.
Hell yeah.
Shit, I remember it.
Yeah, what does that feel like?
Which
like at that moment?
You're
talking about the deep ball?
Yeah. That was easily the best moment I've had in my career.
What was the scenario in the game? It was
it was crazy. There was about like 9 seconds left in the half. We're at like the 40-yard line, and we're going in the huddle. Like I'm thinking, what are we going to try to get? Like 10 yards, get out of bounds, kick a field goal. And then Tom just comes running in, and if you know, like Bruce Arians and Byron Leftwich, like their whole thing is like we're gonna go deep, we don't care.
I love it.
As you saw, Jameis threw for like 50 touchdowns when he was with us, and like led the league in passing. But Tom comes in, and he's like bunch left, 80 go, and I'm like I'm the Z to the left, and I'm like about to throw a go ball right now.
That wasn't even like a check or nothing. You guys called that.
No, we called the go ball.
Oh wow!
And I'm just like lined up, condensed. I see the corner like only like 8 yards off, kind of like looking inside, and I'm like,
see you later.
He's about to get
speed,
this,
baby. I'm gone.
You're right. I take off, and I just see him standing there. And I'm like, I'm like, Tom, please put it up. I look up, and sure enough, right there, and right in the breadbasket, and just like,
did you celebrate?
I was like in shock. I'm like running around, like, what just happened? Like, I was just at Bowling Green 2 years ago. Tom Brady's throwing me this. Like, what's going on?
The NFC Championship.
Yeah, I'm looking up for my family, like, see where they're at. Like, it was crazy. Chris Guy was like tackling me. Like, it was wild. And just a big moment because it put us up by like, I don't know, 14 or 20 to really make it difficult for them to come back on us in the second half. So it was crazy.
You said something very important, and I'm a coach. So, like, this is very important to me specifically because I didn't understand this until I got out of the game, right? And it's not about what the coach says to you. It's about what the coach says to someone else, and you got to pay attention to everything that coach says.
Right.
Yeah. And I didn't learn that, like, genuinely learn that until I started coaching myself because you got to think, bro, like, he can't say to you the same thing that he's saying to GP. He don't have time.
No.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, talk about your preparation and how serious you take it because for you to be able to say to the people, Like, yo, I'm not paying attention to what coach is saying to me. I'm paying attention to what he just said to GP, what he just said to Mike, what he just said. Like, that's a lot.
Yeah,
So
I think for any young kid coming up, especially like in the college rank or whatever it may be, that's extremely important because you never know when that chance is going to come.
Yeah.
And most guys aren't just given a billion chances, so you got to take advantage of every opportunity you get.
Right.
So that's kind of my mindset and why I go about it the way I do. And just it's difficult, but like anything worth having is difficult. You know what I mean? So like.
Right.
That's what I'm just, I just sit there and try to just process everything and watch the tape and see what he's telling Mike, what he's telling Van, what he's telling Calvin. And he's talking to me too, but like just trying to get as much knowledge as I can because that one little detail might be the difference of you taking advantage of the opportunity or not.
Yeah, I also want to emphasize here too, when I was kind of talking about like the staying ready, like I want the fans to also know like the importance of every single snap that you get is because like when you have a stud player, you could have 3 drops in a game, still have a big game. You don't have to sweat nothing. You have 3 drops in a game, your ass is done, right? Like, and I'm sure you feel that, right? So that pressure is heavy. Like, so not only do you have to like, you're catching these big plays or whatever, but like you're getting maybe, how many receptions you have last game? 3, right?
I had 3, yeah.
Yeah. So one of those gets screwed up. I mean, that's serious for you.
Down to 2.
But so I just want to like emphasize. I don't even know if you could speak on it, but. You like every play you have is so valuable. Not to 100%. Dilute that from everybody else, but it's a little bit more concentrated for you.
I played in different roles. Like in Tampa, I was a starter at points.
Yes,
and
you were. Yeah.
It's it's a lot easier to go out there and be a starter and be playing 50 snaps and like
right. You could have
something
the drop.
goes wrong.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna bounce back right here.
Right. You don't.
But
get
when you're
that.
a guy that's a reserve coming in off the bench, like you better.
Yeah.
You better.
That's stressful, bro.
No, it is
stressful.
I like speaking to it like you said. Like I think it is one of the hardest things in sports. It's just like all those guys.
People don't see that.
No, you don't. You just think you got to step in and be ready to roll. But, which you
yeah.
do, but it's not easy.
Right.
Even like the blocking, like it's not so much even about catching. It's their blocking
Agreed.
too. Like if they're not getting up to that safety or that whatever that corner that's supposed to fill, whatever they're supposed to do. Like Van had a.
Yeah.
On Naj's like game stealing play.
I'm proud of you right now.
Yeah. What? Like
that you even know about the run game for a receiver
on,
inside zone. You already talking real football.
They're working up to the front side safety and shit.
He knows.
I understand football. But no,
just
seriously,
stays
like,
ready, bro.
like Van Jefferson's block yesterday on Najee's run that
people don't see that
game, bro. Like
huge.
He whacked somebody.
Yeah, man. And that's Van does so much for us in the run game. Like
people don't know idea.
People like if you really watch what he's doing on an every game basis, I mean, and how much he's helping us out.
Bro, him and Skoranek are fucking like they're like motioning these guys to block kick out ends and shit. Like they're kicking out Myles Garrett.
Yeah.
These receivers are like putting their head in there, and it's like that's cool to see because like dudes that are just buying in, especially receivers, like no knock on receivers, but sometimes receivers like they don't want to do that shit, bro. They're the cream of the crop, like the best athletes out there. Like they don't want to stick their nose in and fucking block Myles Garrett. But like to see that we got like dudes doing that, like Van is in there, bro. Like
in there,
he don't care.
Inserting,
yes,
on the strong safety, on the Sam linebacker,
But I'm letting you know though, as a skinny guy, I know you understand this. Those hurt, bro. So for them to go in there and do that with no questions asked, I gotta give credit. Like especially on Myles. Yeah, I'm talking about Myles Garrett.
Yes,
Hercules.
Can I ask, not to change the subject here, but did you? I mean, I know you guys saw, but did you guys see the hit E had on the pulling?
Oh, I saw that.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, he's a dog. He's different.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
He blew him up into the backfield, and then I forget who came in and made the tackle. I don't know if it was Deshaun, but bro, that he
and then he walked over and said something to him.
When I literally was watching the game, I was like, oh, like I rarely like say shit out loud while I'm watching the game. When I saw him hit that dude, I was like, bro. That shit
came
was
with
crazy.
He came with it on that one. He did.
Sorry, I just had to give him a shout out because that play was nuts.
Peyton said it perfectly. E-Rob has like he can't figure it out. He thinks E-Rob's got like a steel pipe in his neck that like he don't move. He just hits you and you move and he don't move.
He ain't going backwards.
No, he's going forward at all times.
There's nothing stopping him from going forward.
All times.
I knew that was real when he came in here and he was explaining how he makes every tackle. And he doesn't say like he made the tackle. He uses effects for each tackle. I was like, oh no, you're crazy. Like you're actually you think about this all day, all night. This is your thing. He would be like, fa. I was like, oh, so you definitely killed somebody on that one.
Oh yeah.
Like, that's his thing. I respect it. I'm just saying, damn.
Yeah, he's nuts.
Did you have the similar mindset at Duquesne when you were running through the hole?
I was more a finesse player. I was more like a little swim, go around the tight end, a little tackle at the ankles, clean.
That's so
Yeah.
funny.
Get out of the game, not too sore. Hit the south side.
At Mario's.
Yeah, just kicking it. I get it. What are your thoughts on Pittsburgh as a city? Not even talking about the fans, but like obviously you're in Tampa, you're in Atlanta. Atlanta's a huge city. I heard their facilities like far from the stadium and shit. But
Yeah.
what are your thoughts on like Pittsburgh, traffic, living, food, everything?
Yeah, no, it's been cool. Obviously, I haven't been here too long, so I can't speak on it too much, but it's been cool. I mean, I think the city's a cool vibe. I don't necessarily love being in like a huge city
Yeah.
personally, so I think this is like a cool size. Went to a couple Pirates games. They were cool. That stadium is sick.
Best park in America.
Yeah,
bro.
yeah, that thing
By
is
far.
sweet.
Too bad they.
Get the water
Yeah,
right
that's
there.
not talking
Hopefully
about
they can get it
the park's
going.
nice.
Well, they just Juan Soto just got paid $765 million.
Yeah,
It's more than the
crazy.
entire Pirates payroll in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be tough to compete with that.
So like, what
Yeah.
are we doing,
Right.
baseball?
Yeah,
What
right.
are
We don't wanna
looking
so
win.
how are we
at,
going to
bro?
pay Skeens?
We're not. He's gonna be a Yankee.
Yeah.
It sucks. It sucks to say it, but like the Yankees will be able to pay him $1 billion. They're gonna pay him $900 million.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is asinine, but we can't pay. Like we could pay it.
But we're
But
not going to.
Our owner, he won't do it.
Yeah.
I'm speaking to him.
Yeah.
Do it again. Do it
Yeah.
again.
Yes, we're from Pittsburgh. It's time to invest. We got the best pitcher in the world.
I like it.
Send the message.
See, I'm
Right.
sending a message.
Maybe we get Skeens on here just to make it the message even more strong. You know what I mean?
Love to get Paul on here. He
Right.
came in the facility. He's a big dude.
Yeah.
Like 6'4", 6'5",
He's
ain't
bigger than that.
What position in football is he playing?
Got to be quarterback, right?
Quarterback.
Right.
Maybe a tight end. Dude, he's big. I'm telling you, this dude is big.
he?
Yeah.
Like how big? Like
I think he's like 6'6", 6'7".
dang.
He's got to be like 230, 240, 6'6", 6. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would not expect that.
Which
I'm
I
not gonna
guess
lie.
like now I'm looking at it. It's like it's not that big for like the NFL. Like Darnell Washington, dude, is sick. It's the
He's
biggest human
huge,
being I've
dude.
ever seen.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And can move too?
Yeah, and can
Yeah.
move. He's gonna hurdle you. He's gonna
Yeah.
like. How about these DBs trying to tackle that
Oh,
man?
man.
I don't think he's ever been tackled by the
Dude,
first
he-
person.
No, never. Just
Like
throw it
ever.
to him in the flat. He will make at least one man.
At least one.
miss.
Never the first person has never tackled him.
Yeah.
I have not seen it in Georgia, and I haven't seen it now. I'm just saying.
Because if you go low, he's going to hurdle you.
Yeah,
And if you go high, you're getting trucked.
I saw like a
So,
side by
good luck.
side of him catching like the same route with the same move.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw that.
That
but it
hurdle
was
move.
One
Yeah.
against
like
the Colts,
identical.
yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Like same move twice.
I can imagine him and GP being on the same team. That is crazy to me.
I mean, dude,
They let that happen?
Georgia's roster, GP Broderick,
Broderick,
just on
yeah.
our team.
Yeah.
GP Broderick. I mean, who else? From Georgia?
I think just on the Steelers, like that's the guys, but yeah, they're all like the size is crazy. Georgia's known for.
Mims,
Did Jalen Carter come
Jalen
from there
Carter-
too?
Jalen
Like
Carter, the,
Yeah.
the tackle
Right.
for Cincy. Mims is a rookie.
Yeah,
this year.
Pretty
yeah,
much
yeah.
everybody
On the
from
team.
Pennsylvania
He's
just
fucking
Where does
grabbed
huge.
Georgia
guys.
find these guys?
yeah.
You guys,
I don't know.
You guys watch it at all? Like, who do you think about the playoffs? Who you think's going to be like a surprise, or who you
Ooh,
think's
I
going to
like
win
this
it all
one. I like this one.
For what?
for college this year?
Who you got
Ooh,
winning
that's
the
a good
playoffs?
call. College
Yeah,
football
shoot,
play. I think
I'm just excited to watch it. I love
am
the
too.
12 team.
yeah,
I'm
12
excited.
teams.
So much good football.
I can't
to
believe
watch.
Yeah.
they haven't been doing this 12-team playoff.
I know,
So
right?
This, like the fact that we've been deciding national championships before this by, the 4-team was cool, whatever. 4
Yeah.
teams got in, but like even before that,
Yeah.
one team.
That's crazy.
like
yeah.
2 teams. Like,
Yeah.
come on, bro.
It ain't a real championship.
Yeah, so
I love it. I love it personally. Like I'm
Yeah.
all for it. Right
I got
now.
I got Oregon. I think they're the most complete team. I got Oregon.
Okay, that's fair.
Plus, I think they're due. Like,
Yeah.
when was the last time they won?
It's been a while.
It's been a while. It's always Georgia,
undefeated pressures.
Bama.
For real though.
It
You know?
is,
Like I feel like they got the target on their back, #1 seed.
Yeah.
and they got a
But-
hard go. They do.
I'd like to see Indiana make a little run, but they
That'd be
play
fun. Who they got?
they play Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Ooh.
But that that the coach Signetti's from Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Like, and that whole staff's
They're actually from
Pittsburgh.
Apollo.
Yeah. Are they really?
Yeah, Paulton.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah, Mr. Sig. I know him and his other brother.
Represent, huh?
You know, there's not too many of us out there.
I'd like to see it. I'd like to see Indiana. My dog's name's Hoosier.
I want
Really?
Boise to win it all. Oh, really? That's
Heather's
right.
from Indiana. Yeah.
That's right.
That's cool. Hoosier. That's a cool ass name.
My dog.
Yeah.
Literally.
Found your jacket?
My suit jacket?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Got it clean too.
Okay, hey, shout out to Hoosier. Shout out to Hoosier. But
Who
I
do you
would
got-
love to see Indiana win, personally.
Who do you got, Jess?
For college, I don't follow college. I don't want to speak on something I don't know. So
You're just all NFL.
I'm like all pro sports.
Who do you got for NFL winning it?
Oh, dude,
What the hell?
I want to be careful on like saying.
so
Yeah,
I
long.
don't,
no, you can't answer that
yeah,
question.
yeah.
We're doing like, we can't be the podcast that like jinxes this
just
run.
yeah. So that's
I
why
We're
refuse.
all gonna answer Steelers until.
Yeah, you're right.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I'm just honestly
don't wanna do
just
that.
been so excited to watch this style of football. For a long time, we were the bubble screen, the draw. It'd be 3rd and 14. We'll draw it. Like, and I understand all that to an extent, but it has been so fun to watch like this style of football.
Yeah.
So like,
Facts.
you know, in the gathering, so of like all these different players has been a lot of fun to see. I've never seen the Steelers do this as much as they've done this year. And I kind of want to piggy that back into one of my final questions here. So Arthur Smith was your coach in Atlanta, correct? So he's obviously now Steelers OC. So I just want to know, because the Pruitt is also from the Falcons. Was there another guy that came from the Falcons as well?
Prue, we got CP,
Yeah.
Cordell Patterson.
Yes, true.
and
There you
Van
go.
Jefferson's also.
Okay. Yeah. Perfect. So my question is like, what kind of role does that play? So I know the obvious answer to that is like Arthur knows you guys, but like on your end of things, are you expecting a call? Is Arthur calling you? And like, how does that, like, if you're able to share that stuff? Because there's obviously some sort of method to the madness of getting 4 guys from a prior team. So he sees something in you guys. What's
Yeah.
that like?
No, I think we all just had a good relationship with Arthur, a good working relationship
Yeah.
when we were there. Me and Van were only on. Van got traded to the Falcons last year from the
Yes.
Rams, so he was
Yeah.
only there for like half the year. I was there the whole year, but CP and Prue have been. Pruitt's been with him when he was the OC at the Titans.
Right.
He's
Right.
been with him for a while.
Yeah.
And the more you kind of look into this business, you see like
see that.
it's so much about relationships.
Yeah.
It's you guys following their coaches' places.
Right. Right.
I think it's just a trust aspect, and I think he kind of trusts us the 4 guys he brought.
How's that feel like for
It
you?
feels good. I mean, it gives you a ton of confidence
Right,
as a player.
right.
I mean,
Yeah.
I think half the battle as a player is like being able to get that confidence.
Yeah.
And like, if you feel like a coach doesn't really trust you, doesn't really want you on the
Yeah,
field,
it's
you're probably not
scary.
going to play as well.
Scary.
But when
Yeah.
you got a coach that gives you that full belief, you're like, all right, let's go do it.
Dude, that's
You know what I
sweet.
mean?
That's sweet. I think that's a huge stamp. I mean, like you were saying, like you have to make the most out of everything you got going on. Every play is like, you know, it has so much importance to you. But then, you know, you go into an off season, like, you know, I don't know what your off season looks like. Are you fielding calls from teams, like, or you know, your agent, like, what's that look like? And then to get a call from Arthur Smith, you're like, you know, I don't know if he reached out to you specifically,
Yeah, no,
but
for sure.
that's
I mean,
got
you
to
definitely
feel
talk,
amazing.
Like as the process gets going, you talk to guys that you know.
Yeah.
And I think you also have a comfort level signing with the team where you kind of know, for
What
one, know
kind
the
of style.
playbook,
Yeah.
and then know a guy's going to believe in you. If you go somewhere like completely new, you don't know anybody, you don't know how it's exactly going to shake out
Yeah.
for you.
And do
or how
those
you're gonna fit in.
playbooks translate like pretty like with what you're running? Now you don't have to give it all up, but like the stuff that Arthur was running in Atlanta, are you noticing that with the Steelers, and does that
100%,
give you
yeah,
that comfort?
It's a lot of carryover. Obviously, there's
cool.
going to be differences with
Right.
different quarterbacks in the game, even from Justin
Absolutely.
to Russ, but
Yeah.
going from Desmond last year and
Mhm.
Heineke, like there's like different quarterbacks like
Yep.
different plays, but like the terminology is all the same.
That's cool.
Everything is pretty much the same, so it makes it a lot easier on a guy like me that's going to a new team.
Mm-hmm.
It's easier for me almost than a guy that's been there and got to go from the old OC to the new one.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So,
yeah,
yeah.
just to even know a guy's like vouching for you has got to feel great. So,
Yeah, 100%, yeah,
I love that.
100%.
I love that.
Good catch, by the way, man. I just got to give you credit. I just wanted to say it out loud while we're on here, bro. Great catch. I
Also,
ain't gonna
shout
lie.
out for the hold that you had to step in.
Oh, yeah,
man.
wow.
Appreciate it, yeah.
I show
My
love to
boy.
my
Wow.
holder.
I
Oh,
kind of
boy.
snapped it a little high. I'm not going to lie.
Kind of threw a high heater to me.
It was a high heater to Scotty.
Yeah.
It was a little high.
Were you nervous?
I was a little nervous. I ain't gonna lie. So Mike. So that was crazy too. Like, oh, so Mike T. That Friday, Mike T. comes up to me and he's like, "Hey, Scotty, Calvin, like, come over here." We're like, "What's up?" He's like, "Either you guys ever held before?" I'm like, "I might have done it in high school." And he's like, "Got the job," and I'm like.
Oh shit.
We took like 2 snaps thinking like this is never gonna happen, like, you know, but I'm like, let me just see if I know how to do this. I think at first I had like the wrong hand in. You guys are showing me how to do it.
Yeah, he went to catch. He put his hand down, and he was holding the ball with this hand. Like,
Yeah.
you're supposed to like hold it with this hand. He was like holding it with his right
I think I had
hand.
my wrong knee.
Yeah. And Boss was like, Oh, shit. Scotty, you got to hold it with this hand and put the other knee up. We got 2 reps, and then I can't believe that.
That was crazy.
The fact that happened, and you had to go in there and hold his.
Yeah, so then the punter got hurt.
Yeah,
and then, Cam gets hurt, and then they're like, "All right, Scotty, you're up," and I'm like, just hoping like. Well, not necessarily hoping we don't score, but I'm like, hoping we score and go for 2 or like, but me and Christian and I getting some reps in on the sideline. And then sure enough, we were up by, I think 5.
We needed it.
So go up by 8.
Yeah.
And then I go in there and it was funny because you're supposed to, I was just learning all this. You're supposed to like look back at the kicker. They give you the head nod to go ahead and do it.
Do none of that.
He never looked at Boz.
I didn't even look at Boz. I just, said
God.
whatever they told me to
He
say.
was looking at me going like this.
Good thing
Oh,
Boz was
God.
ready. He could have been back there and stretching.
Oh my God.
It could have been so bad.
It could have been bad. It could have been bad.
I'm
But
looking
it
at your
worked out.
face right now. I know it could have been bad.
It could have been really bad because, like, when I look through my legs, like, and I see him, I'm like, oh, fuck. I'm like, did he already look at Boz? So then I look back at Boz, and Boz is still kind of, like, looking at his feet, like, getting his footing before he looks up. So, like, he's still looking at me, and
my
he's
God.
going like, and then
I'm like, come on, Christian, what you waiting on?
I just waited. I just waited
guy's
until I saw
slow.
Boz, and I was like, I'm just snapping it.
So he owes you a dinner, is what you're saying. Is
Nah, he got the hold down, bro. The snap was a high heater at him.
it was that
But like,
high?
I'm not gonna lie. If like a backup holder does come in, like they tend like it's easier to catch a ball here and kind of slam it down as opposed to if you give him a low one.
Yeah.
Right.
And like even though his
Yeah.
hands are, one
All
of the
state. Right.
yeah, he's a receiver. He catches balls for a living. Like even though they're great, it's just different angle catching and putting. Like you might miss the spot and like. People don't realize, like, if this is the spot, like, where their hand is, like, if you miss that spot, like, Boz is only looking at his hand. Like, that's how he knows to go. Once he sees that hand lift to catch the ball, that's when he goes.
Mm.
So, like, I'm going on.
See, I'm learning stuff right now, too.
Why
Why didn't you tell me this in the game?
You're already in the game, guy.
Hey, man, it's too
This
late.
dude has a successful hold. He's learning shit right now. No, for real, though. Like, if we're putting the ball, like, on this spot, that's where the spot Boz picked. If you miss that spot, like either way, like he's chasing a ball with his foot and like he's hitting it blind essentially.
See, people don't know that, and I feel like
shit, dude.
people like really give kickers a hard time because I'm not gonna lie, I was one of those people to begin with.
Yeah.
I really was. But now knowing all the information you just gave, I'll never do it again. So sorry, Boz. Any mean thing I've ever said ever when you've never heard me say.
No, I agree with that. I'm always like, man, I can't believe he missed that. But now, ever since I had that hold, now every time I watch a kick, I'm looking at that holder like, did he mess something
Dude,
up?
like D-Hop yesterday. Like D-Hop had a Cleveland's kicker had a rough going yesterday. But like people don't understand, like that wind was changing nonstop yesterday. Like it was coming at our sideline in the first half, and then like we elected obviously like third quarter we want to kick against it because in the fourth quarter we want to win at our back if we get in a game-winning situation. So like that wind totally switched. So then fourth quarter now we were going against it and they were going with it when we strategized to go with it in the fourth. So like that wind is tough. Pittsburgh's one of the hardest places to kick in, especially like.
You're right next to the water, man.
Right next to the water, it's gusting. It's going.
Yeah.
The flags could be going this way, but once you get the ball up in the air,
They switch.
it's going the other way.
That's why Danny always has
His underwear, his fucking G string.
Hey, hold on.
Listen,
I gotta explain.
Danny's so old school. Danny comes out with this like crusty ass piece of pre-wrap tape. Like this tape is from when he was coaching in Washington years ago. He pulls it out of his bag. And like, dude, it's a pre-wrap tape, and this thing is like gusting. Like it could be a calm day, and this thing would be blowing.
Yeah.
And he just holds it out there. The returners come out, and they'll see. I know you've seen him.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
like this, holding this tape,
God.
puts it back in. He pulled out his wad of gum yesterday. I'm not kidding you. It was this like a wad of gum was probably like this big. Yes, he's like.
When
You
did
want
that?
this?
Has he always done that? When did that start?
I think he's always been chewing gum. Like, dude, he's
Yeah.
got a bucket. He's got buckets of gum. Buckets.
somebody's got to sponsor him.
Yeah.
Bro, a double bubble sponsorship would go
Crazy.
for Danny.
He has.
Danny's a man.
Yeah, Danny's a man.
What was
Dude,
funny, it's a game one against Atlanta, my first game with the Steelers. We were playing the Falcons.
Yeah.
Pre-game warm-up, it's really hectic. A lot of guys running all over the place.
Oh, my God.
So trying to throw routes on there. I don't know if you saw this.
Dude, I did.
But I'm throwing with Russ pregame, and I want to get one last deep shot that I think I might get in the game. It's like a deep corner route. So we need it's a pretty far throw. So I'm like, Russ, just let me know when the coast is clear, and I'm gonna go run it because I don't want to run into somebody and get hurt or whatever. Russ is like, all right, we're good. Let's go. Snaps it. I take off. Burst to the corner. Russ, lofts up the ball. I'm running, tracking it down full speed. I catch it and just boom. I just smack somebody, and I'm like, what was that? I look down at Danny's is on the ground with bubble gum hanging, and I'm like,
oh my god!
I'm like, oh no! And this dude, how old is
Danny's like 70? I don't know, 68, 70.
Okay? I'm like, Danny, I'm trying to pick him out. Like, my bad, bro. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to hit you.
Oh my god!
Dude,
Danny's from the hood, so
and he popped up. I'm good, man. Let's go.
Wait,
pulled out his piece of tape. We indoor.
We're indoor anymore.
Oh my
The
god.
best part is he pulled out the tape and we were playing indoors. He's still pulling out the tape, but
He's over there.
but another thing that you will learn about kicking and wind and shit is there is wind in some indoor stadiums,
Really?
especially
The
when
draft.
Atlanta's roof's open.
I think, yeah.
Atlanta's roof's open. It was closed for our game, but when Atlanta's roof's open, there's at least a 10-mile-per-hour gust, and Indy has wind coming in. Vegas was. I don't think Vegas had much, but yeah, indoor stadiums still have a little wind.
I don't like Atlanta's field. The lighting messes with my eyes. I don't know why. Because it's really dark in there. I don't know if it's just me, but when we played
feel
there,
that.
It
feels dark in there,
You
doesn't
almost
it?
feel like you're trapped in there because there's not many.
Yeah, but I don't
windows
like
and,
it.
You're
I didn't
almost
like it.
Yeah, I feel that.
We played. This was my first time. I don't know if you. I'm sure you have. You played in Detroit before.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
that was
played
my
Detroit
first
too.
time being there this
preseason,
preseason.
yeah.
That stadium is cool,
It's in the ground.
dude.
It's pretty cool.
in
Yeah.
the ground, and they're on top of you with these private press boxes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's a cool stadium. I like it.
It is a cool stadium.
Looks like a
Fun
steel
now, too,
mill.
with them rocking, so the fans are crazy.
It looks like an old steel mill. Somebody just made it into a makeshift
Yeah.
NFL stadium. It's pretty cool. I can't lie. They did it right.
Yeah, it matches Detroit's personality.
Yeah.
I feel pretty well.
Oh, it definitely does. Really gritty.
Pulling for a Steelers-Lions Super Bowl this year, dude. I feel like that would be fun to watch.
Two great head
Oh my
coaches.
god! Yeah,
I would love
That'd
to
be
watch
so
it.
sick. Yeah,
That would
love
be cool.
that. Yeah.
Who's your second favorite head coach? I mean, you guys all love Tomlin. I'm a big Tomlin fan myself, but if there's somebody else out there that you're I got respect for that guy, who else would it be?
Mine would probably. I don't. He's played for other guys. Mine would probably be Dan Campbell. I don't know. Just from what I've seen, I don't know any guys. You gotta almost you gotta form a relationship and be in there to kind of even make these, even say anything. But from what I've seen from the outside, I feel like I'd want to play for Dan Campbell.
Yeah,
it seems
I agree.
Did you- Did you see the clip of him going into the locker room all hyped
Dude,
up, like
it was-
after the game?
You sent
And-
it to me. That
yeah,
thing
I
was-
sent it to
was
Vinny.
so
There's a
great.
dude throwing up one of their offensive linemen. He's throwing up during the post game hype speech, and he's like, "Yeah, keep throwing up." So that dude's just a different animal. So I love it. I love it.
Well, shit, Scotty, I appreciate you coming in. Boys, Jess, thank you. Vin, Trey,
It's been fun, man.
Sir,
Season
appreciate
one,
you guys, man.
episode
Where we at now?
22.
22.
What it is?
22?
I think 22.
I think it's 22.
Yeah.
Like, share, subscribe, repost, do all that shit.
Yes, sir.
Bye.